Honourable Member, you may give your submissions now.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity to make some comments on the statement before this House. It's unfortunate that the Deputy Minister for Finance has just left the chamber. We are debating the budget of the executive. The Minister for Finance is not here. His deputy was here. Right after his submissions, he's Nicodemously sneaked out of the chamber. We would have wished that he would be here to get feedback. And here is why. You know, sometimes when you are in government, you suffer from a certain disease. Any feedback that is given you, you think your job is just to defend. I was information minister. You think your job is just to defend and explain. Sometimes if you listen, you will get free advice that can help you to improve what you are doing. So it will be good that you bring him back into the chamber so that he can listen to the feedback that we are giving to him. He, for example, says that his justification for raising this 49 billion, this phantom 49 billion, is that in 2017 we mentioned arrears of 7 billion. What he forgets is that when we mentioned 7 billion, we did not proceed to adjust the fiscals with that 7 billion. We did not proceed to adjust the national accounts with that 7 billion and change the primary balance. We proceeded to say it will be audited, and thankfully, a good chunk of those claims were thrown away. What he has done differently, what he and his boss have done differently, is that they have proceeded to adjust the national accounts and adjust the primary balance for numbers that they themselves claim they have not audited. I'm happy he's coming back into the chamber. So the difference is that you have proceeded to adjust the national accounts with figures that you are confessing you have not audited. Who does that? And that is why we are telling you to hasten slowly. Mr. Speaker, he says they have indexed leap to inflation. He goes on to say that they have provided dedicated funding for free SHS. Honorable Deputy Minister, you did not index leap to inflation. The MPP government that just did indexed leap to inflation. You did not do it. You did not do it. Don't take credit for what you haven't done. Also, you claim there was no dedicated funding for free SHS, and you question whether the erudite Abeno Osei-Asare has read the budget. I regret to inform you, you probably haven't read your own budget. You haven't read your own budget. Because if you have read your budget, you will find out that the dedicated funding for free SHS was a goods and services allocation of ABFA. Honorable Deputy Minister, ABFA. What you have done, and again, you tell the people of Ghana that you have uncapped NHIL and Get Fund. That's not true. Let me show you why it's not true. It is the Earmarked Funds Capping and Realignment Act. What that law says is that you cap 14 funds. And if you find that any fund requires its full allocation, you restore. That's what you have done. If you wanted to uncap, you know what you do? You repeal the whole legislation. Why have you not uncapped all the 14 funds? This will be nothing to write home about. You told us between pages 3 and 20, economic program. Honorable Deputy Minister, let me have your attention. You told us that your economic program will be built on 3 foundational pillars: the economic transformation agenda, the economic recovery program, and the 24-hour economy. Right at the dispatch box, your boss, the finance minister, has admitted that the 24-hour economy part of it, they are not ready to even lay it before this House. Sunday, you brought in Mr. Gusitando to do an informal presentation, and he himself admitted that he has some further work to do, and then he will bring it here. You have brought us an economic policy. The economic recovery program, that's the foundation. The economic transformation agenda, that's the foundation. The 24-hour economy, that's the foundation. You have not finished preparing it. Who built the first floor when they haven't built the foundation? Which contractor built the first floor when they haven't built the foundation? And let me show you the effect. That is why when we go into your economic policy, there's no coherence with your manifesto. You made 273 economic promises in your manifesto, 273 of them. If we prorate your 4-year period, each year you should be doing about 68 of them. Do you know how many of your economic promises you have responded to in this first economic policy? Do you know the number? I'm not sure you have read the budget. You haven't counted. You have only responded to 25. of your economic promises. Mr. Deputy Minister, that is just about 36%. If you continue at this rate, by the time this year is over and by the time your tenure is over, you will be doing less than 20%. And let me tell you why. Because even when you roll out programs as government, not all of it succeeds. I've told you that we've been in government before. The MPP in the first year rolled out free SHS, 1D, 1F, 1 village, 1 dam. Even those ones that we started early, look at the challenges that we faced. And so, Honorable Deputy Minister, we are drawing your attention, this is free feedback to you, that you need to find more coherence between your economic policy and your own manifesto. Else, by the time your tenure is done, you would have disappointed yourself. The second point I want to draw your attention to is that your budget, even the one that you brought, your budget, it betrays your priorities. You see, like they say, don't tell me what your priorities are. Show me your budget, and I will see what you value. This budget that you have brought is the budget in which you have told us, first of all, that you value Ghanaian women so much that you are going to set up a bank for them, the Women's Development Bank. You have put $51 million allocation, 51 million cedis, 51 million cedis allocation in this budget for the Women's Development Bank. And then you have put 70 million cedis for research at Jubilee House. You see your priorities? The budget is beginning to betray your priorities. You give all of the women in Ghana who are looking for this bank 51 million, and then you give research at the office of the president 70 million Ghana cedis. You are beginning to see your priorities. Honorable Deputy Minister, you told us that something has happened that's never happened. The president has gone to negotiate minimum wage. How much? 10%. By the way, the previous administration did way better, 25% plus. But while you are increasing minimum wage by 10%, you have increased the compensation budget at the Office of Government Machinery by over 720%. Over 720%. This is what the leader of the minority said, that very soon we will see the true colors of the umbrella. You see, your priorities are beginning to show. You need not less than about 1 billion Ghana cedis to close the infrastructure gap within senior high schools. You say you don't have fiscal space, you don't have money for it, but you have found 4.1 billion cedis to buy gold. Gold that was being bought from liquidity that was being brought into the jurisdiction by foreign companies that wanted to buy the gold. Now you want to take taxpayers' money, 4 billion Ghana cedis, to go and buy gold. Are you seeing your priorities now? You have made available 100 million Ghana cedis for capital expenditure at the Office of Government Machinery. What are you buying there? More cars or what? 100 million Ghana cedis for capital expenditure. And yet, you say to the young people of this country that there is no space. Paragraph 478. That's why I'm worrying whether you've read it. Paragraph 478. You say there's no fiscal space to recruit young people into the public service. But you find 100 million Ghana cedis for capital expenditure, to buy cars and other things. Are you seeing where your priorities are? If I take you into a further analysis of your own numbers, Honorable Deputy Minister, your own numbers. Like my brother John Jinapo used to say, Mr. Speaker, we have run the regression analysis and the correlation analysis on this side, and we know all the figures. I'm happy he's here in the chamber. Mr. Speaker, we have also run the analysis. If you look at compensation allocations, Honorable Deputy Minister, do I have your attention? You will find that for the Office of Government Machinery, you have allocated 2.7 billion for compensation. By the way, when it was 327, you used to complain and do press conferences. Now it's 2.7 billion. But what is even more worrying, the economic sector ministries, 7 of them, the ones that are responsible for generating growth, expansion of the economy and jobs for people, you have given them a paltry 2.2 billion Ghana cedis. You value Office of Government Machinery compensation more than 7 economic ministries. You were telling us a few minutes ago that infrastructure is the most important thing. While you have made available 2.7 billion cedis for compensation at the Office of Government Machinery, Honorable Deputy Minister, if you check your budget, the numbers, do you know how much you have given for compensation for the infrastructure sector ministries? A paltry 700 million Ghana cedis. So your budget is showing your priorities. But even more importantly, I keep reminding you that the most important things that the people of Ghana are looking for, improvement in cost of living. Between the State of the Nation address and your economic policy and your budget, you have conveniently forgotten about them. You told us that you were going to use the special petroleum levy to cushion people who buy fuel from increased fuel prices. Between SONA, budget, and economic policy, you have conveniently forgotten about it. Today, you have increased the cost of gas, which is used for producing electricity, from $7 per MMBTU to $8 per MMBTU. You know what it means. What it means is that the cost of power produced is going up. Then to add insult to injury, you have added to it that every 3 months there will be adjustments in utility tariffs. So what is going to happen is that utility tariffs are going to go up every 3 months. Is this the reset that you promised the people of Ghana? You told everybody that food inflation was so high it needs to be dealt with. My uncle is here. He has rolled out an interesting program which looks very much like planting for food and jobs. You are going to give support to farmers to increase production. I'm giving you honest feedback. The outstanding items like porous borders, transportation challenges, liberalized pricing regime at our markets, the program that you are talking about doesn't address it. So food inflation, you have not done anything about it. Transportation. Today, the Minister for Transport is now asking transport unions that they should hold on with transport fare increases. Because you haven't, as a government, introduced any policy to deal with it, despite what you told the people of Ghana. And so, my brother, the economic policy you have brought, it doesn't respond to the key issues. Worse is that you have introduced new taxes that will worsen the cost of living. The growth and sustainability levy that you have introduced from 2026, 2027, 2028 is going to affect banks, non-banking financial institutions, insurance companies, telecom companies, breweries, oil marketing companies, companies and institutions registered under SEC, electronic money issuers, and all other companies that are not within category A and B. I can give you a copy of Act 1095 by 5%. All these industries, they are going to pass the cost on to the average Ghanaian, and cost of living will go up. So the most important thing to the people of Ghana, cost of living, you have not tackled it. My final point, Mr. Speaker, and I'll take my seat. You see, when you gave all of these policies to the Ghana Statistical Service and the Finance Ministry people, they marked it. And they said that they project that it will lead to 4.4% growth in the economy. The economy that you said was criminally managed. The economy that you said was a crime scene. It did a modest 5.7. Remember that in the first 3 years before COVID, we were doing 7%. When the recovery happened, 5.7. All your programs put together, they are now telling you that it will do 4.4. Mr. Speaker, by our model, on top of the 5.7% this year, Ghana should be doing nothing less than 8% growth. This year, by our model. So, if you want to compare apples to apples, Honorable Deputy Minister, comparing apples to apples, your 4.4% compares to 8%. I have in my hands here the Deloitte economic forecast for 2025. It was issued in December. They said in December that when they look at the MPP's economic recovery program, inflation, following our disinflation trend, is supposed to be 11% this year. 11% this year. You promised a reset that you are going to do better than us. What is your figure? The same 11%. How? You should be doing 7%. Yes. Don't forget that in 2019, the MPP did 7.9% inflation. This is after 2 years of single-digit inflation. And so respectfully, I beg of you, if you listen to the feedback, your overall performance, as is being marked by the Finance Ministry and the Ghana Statistical Service, you need to up it a little more. Mr. Speaker, I will conclude by these comments. In fact, some more data we have. The Office of Government Machinery used to be the 7th highest expenditure item. Today, because you have inflated it, it is now the 5th highest. It is higher. It is higher. It is higher than local government. It's even higher than roads and highways. Mr. Speaker, to conclude, we call on our colleagues on the government bench, try and find coherence between your economic policy and your manifesto. Else, you may not hit 20% and you disappoint yourself. Number 2, go back into the budget and let your money follow where your words have been. The big things that will create growth and expansion of the economy, put money behind them. And Mr. Speaker, the very final point, it's not too late. You have some time. We have 3 weeks before appropriation. Just like how the Finance Minister came back to correct himself that he wants to amend the Income Tax Amendment Act to actually include betting tax, you can still come back and make corrections, and we in this mighty minority will support you to pass that budget. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.